Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome here to race number 8 of the first season of the NASCAR M&M's Cup Series. Getting set to go racing here at the Texas Motor Speedway for 34 laps of racing here today. On the pole position is Maxie Chilton. Maxie Chilton, his first pole on the season, and uh, he is alongside of UCSL in the number 45. Those, by the way, are teammates. Sl 33rd in the points. Maxie Chilton came in this race 5 spots down to 19th in the points. Zachary Fitzwater, his name's still going to be on the 39, but it's Annie Thomas. That 39 comes in this race 27th in the points, alongside of Connor Breton in the 42. Connor comes into this race, the 42, 10th in the standings. As you look at the rest of the lineup, you notice Brittany White is a Munster Energy interloper. She's driving the number 15 and will be in that number 15 for this race and this race only. As you look at the rest of the starting lineup, point standings coming into this race, L Bianchi is the points leader by 3 points over L Dorn. Third in the standings is CJ Bracken, or Baby CJ. And let's get these cars moving while we're talking about the points table. Make sure nobody is having any issues. CJ Bracken, 5 points back in third. Larry Hoyt is 11 points back in fourth, with Bushy Clements in fifth, 15 points back. 22 back is Aaron Crowder, who is sixth. Seventh is R Atikian. Zach Panini is 30 back in eighth. Jeremy Isley, our winner from Daytona, is ninth. And Connor Breton on the outside of row number 2. He is 10th in the standings. Had to get my drink while I'm finishing up watching my Sunday night programming, Bar Rescue. Pace car is off, getting ready to go racing here for 34 laps of racing. In the Andes Frozen Custard 300, we're green here at Texas. There we go. I was having some issues with the deal. The deal is freezing up for some reason. I apologize about that if you're seeing this race right now. Nobody had any issues, so Maxie Chilton will lead the first lap. UZSL in second. As we're down the back straightaway, heading into turn 3 for the second time tonight. Oreo Cup Series drivers flew in from Gateway to Texas last night after last night's race, and that is the track where the M&M's Cup Series are heading to next week, is Gateway Motorsports Park. There's Zachary Fitzwater. Of course, Annie Thomas behind the wheel this week, even though I still will keep Zachary Fitzwater's initials on the 39 for the rest of the season. D Ebrahimian running in the 5th position. Dylan dropped 2 spots down to 14th in the points. So he's looking to bounce back, try to pick up his second win on the season. Alpha Prime Racing still looking for their first win of the season with Maxie Chilton, who is going to be in the Foster Series. If the Foster Series does come back, Maxie Chilton will drive for Front Row Motorsports in the final season of Foster's, if that is indeed the case. UCSL in second, gained 2 spots to 33rd in the points. There's Evelyn Marsh in the 27. She gained 9 spots up to 11th in points. Make sure I said her name correctly. Emberly Marsh. I'm sorry. It's Emberly Marsh. So Emberly really would like to get a good run for herself. Matt Gomes in the 25, who's really been having a struggling season. 37th in the points, dropped 4 spots after last week at Talladega. Probably a big reason why he has a teammate in Brittany White is because Brittany White wants to help Matt Gomes with his performances that's been lacking. Of course, Brittany White doesn't have a full-time ride anywhere other than the Winston Cup Series. There's Sylvia Cunningham in the 14. She dropped 9 spots outside the top 10 to 12th in the standings. There's Austin Scott, Connor Breton, top 10 of the points, and a good battle between Shane Scott and Quentin Moore in the number 28 machine. There's Brittany White in the auto Ford Mustang Dark Horse out of AM Racing. This is going to be her only start she's going to be in. Zachary Fitzwater's car, which is Annie Thomas behind the wheel, dropping back. Emberly Marsh all over the back of Maxie Chilton. Maxie Chilton's last win on the channel came in the Foster Series at Memphis when he drove the number 36 Ford Mustang to victory lane as a go-or-go-homer. Let's check the back of the field here. Jake Brentley back here at the rear of the field in the 41. Same with R Atikian. Tori Goss in the 29. There's been some rumors she could get a part-time ride in the Oreo Cup Series starting next season. We'll see if Quentin Moore would like to get Tori Gossett into a ride. Same with Cody Majorovic. There's Bianchi second in points. Or actually, that's the points leader, I should say. And where is his teammate, the one car? Where's the guy that was trying to run him down for the points lead? R Dorn, he's running in 18th. Battling with Muhammad Zain and Ellie Rose. There's Cody Smart, what could be. If I do bring back the Foster Series, Cody Smart will be the defending series champ. Cody Smart comes into this race 32nd in points. If I do bring back the Foster Series, as I said, he will be the defending series champion. There's Bushy Clements, Loopy Contreras in the 35, Rogel Dorn in the 1. There's Christopher Bright in the number 8, the former Red Bull GT Series driver. Quentin Moore, Dylan Ebrahimian. There's Skylar Taylor, former Camping World Truck Series champion from Season 1. Skylar has had anything but a great season. 34th in the points table coming in this race, running in 10th. This is a much-needed result from her. Maxie Chilton still leads this race. Emberly Marsh in the 27. We could actually see her in the Oreo Cup Series along with Captain Max Superheroes, Everybody's Superhero Maxi Chilton. Maxi Chilton, part of Captain Frank's team. Of course, Captain Frank's two drivers, L Dorn and L Bianchi, are in the top two in the championship. Maxi Chilton, 19th in the points, as I mentioned. Jake Brentley, 41st in the points. He's actually dead last of the drivers that are running the full schedule. That's excluding the Monster Energy interlopers like Brittany White, Jacob Tutu. When I say interlopers, I'm talking about the former Coca-Cola Trucks, Buffalo Wild Wings, and Monster Energy Series interlopers referring to. That's not running for the championship. Then again, the only two interlopers from those three series that are retired is Dylan Cunningham and Lauren Ekstrom. That was the other driver I was thinking of. This baby CJ's back here struggling. There's JP Latero. I know it says Latero, but it's Latero. He told me that after in one of the comments. So, and I can't change his name because it'll just screw up the deal. But if we do another sign up for next season, I will make sure to have an A instead of an E as we're looking at Jacob Foster. Actually, I'll make sure to edit it in the description as far as the points are concerned. Speaking of Lauren Ekstrom, there she is. As she is in the 29th or 32nd position last time by, just past the halfway point of today's race, I should point out. Casey Hoyt, L Contreras. There's Brittany White. Brittany White is a former Buffalo Wild Wings Series driver, as well as a former Monster Energy Series driver. Brittany drove the number 7 McDonald Chevrolet in the Buffalo Wild Wings Series back in 2016. Drove the 45 in the Monster Energy Series. Made the playoffs one of those seasons. Unfortunately, got eliminated. Next week, there is going to be another Monster Energy interloper. Betty Barrett, the former Daytona 500 champ in the Monster Energy Series. She will be an interloper. We'll see her next week at Gateway. And of course, Betty Barrett has won the 500 back in 2014, or 2013 rather, and won the Brickyard 400 in 2021. As Maxi Chilton and Sylvia Cunningham on the inside. She is teammates with Josh Harmon. Josh Harmon in the Oreo Cup Series trying to get himself in the top 30 in points to have his win from the track we were just at last week, Talladega, to count for a playoff berth. Josh Harmon had a good result, got himself into the top 30 in points. He actually won at Gateway last night. Here's UTSL. Dylan Ebrahimian, Quentin Moore. Sylvia going into turn number 3 and 4. As Sylvia Cunningham, we talked about drivers who have been under the Cody Smart umbrella, who's really have been who are going to be potential stars. You know, Ari Springer, who we're going to see in a couple of weeks as a quote interloper. What she did in both the final season of Buffalo Wild Wings and Monster Energy Series, where she made the playoffs in both of those series, unfortunately got eliminated after the round of 12, respectively, in both seasons, but did well in her rookie year, believe it or not. And we will see her the following week when we go to Papyrus. And one thing I would probably have to assume is she would like to get payback and hopefully go to victory lane to prove everybody she should have won that Buffalo Wild Wings Series championship 2 years ago. And it was ironically with this same mod. Sylvia Cunningham looking for her first win on the year. Of course, Cody Smart's team, Smart Motorsports, has had good things over the last several years. And before I forget, this copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of the World Racing Association, the Blue Hedgehog TV, for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction or rebroadcast or retransmitted or any other disseminations or the use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the World Racing Association, the Blue Hedgehog TV, is prohibited. Blue Hedgehog TV want to thank you fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed this broadcast. But back to what I was talking about, before I had to do the promotional announcements and all that. You think about Cody Smart's team as we have 3 laps to go. Lauren Ekstrom coming off a team owner championship in the Monster Energy Series with Jacob Tutu, who we had last week at Talladega. We're going to have her other driver on that group, Betty Barrett, next week as we head to Gateway. And then we're also going to have Ebonia Mirmoez also in a race or two. As we're going to come to the white flag, one more lap to go here at Texas. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see another Cody Smart driver win the championship like what we saw with Jacob Tutu. As here comes Sylvia Cunningham, rounding through 3 and 4 for the final time today. And off at turn 4 for her first win of the season, Sylvia Cunningham is going to win the Andy's Frozen Custard 300 here at Texas. And we saw this a lot from brother Dylan Cunningham in the Buffalo Wild Wings series when Cody Smart took over as the interim until I got my NR 2003 series. And now little sis goes to victory lane here at Texas Motor Speedway. What a win for Sylvia Cunningham in the number 14 for SS Greenlight Racing. UTSL gets second, Quentin Moore third, Ayrton De Silva fourth, Maxie Chilton started on pole, came home in fifth, Dylan Ebrahimian, Connor Breton, Shane Scott, Ellie Rose, and Skylar Taylor will complete the top 10. Tyson Aquino making sure I do not forget her name. That's Emberly Marsh. Emberly Marsh, Zachary Fitzwater, even though it's Annie Thomas, even though Zachary Fitzwater is still listed on the driver. 13th, Daniel Gitirokh and Austin Scott complete top 15. Annie Thomas is going to be driving the 39 because they will make sure Zachary Fitzwater will get credit with the points. But still a good result from her. Dylan Cunningham, Mohammed Zain, Matt Gomes, Casey Hoyt, and Brittany White had a quiet run in the 20th position. Look on down to the remainder of the finishing results. This is really going to be a bit of a head scratcher of who's going to take the points lead. L Bianchi, 21st, came in this race as the points leader. R Dorn, 32nd, came in this race second in points. As far as that is concerned, let's see. Baby CJ finished in 35th. He came in this race third in the standings. And not a good day for Haas Factory team. JP Latero, even though it says Latero, but it's Latero, had a bad day in 40th. Jake Brentley, 42nd. And sandwiched in between those two guys, Lauren Ekstrom, who had a great run the last time we were here at Texas in the Monster Energy Series. 41st. That is definitely not what she wanted so far. So we're going to definitely have a bit of a point shakeup after today's race heading into next week as we head to Gateway Motorsports Park. So, we'll wish 41 of the 42 drivers. Brittany White, she's going to get on a plane, get ready to head over to Talladega Superspeedway, which is next on the agenda as we have Busch and Winston Cup Series stuff coming your way soon. So she'll get on a plane along with a couple of other drivers like Cody Smart, Lauren Ekstrom. Hopefully they can bounce back this weekend here at Talladega Superspeedway. But thank you all for joining me for today's race here at the Texas Motor Speedway. If you enjoyed this race, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the World Racing Association crew today. We showed your full finish results. Your point standings are down in the description heading into next week's race at Gateway. They will run on Monday, so they'll have a couple of days to get prepared to go to Gateway next week. Before that, as I said, we're heading to Talladega for Busch and Winston Cup coming your way. Then we will see these drivers Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time from Gateway. We have the Oreo Cup Series race from Chicagoland Speedway. Hope you'll tune in for that. And then we have Busch and Winston Cup coming your way from the Irish Hills of Michigan as we wrap up the first half of the regular season. Then the following week, Red Bull GT Series is back at New Zealand. We have a double header. We will have M&M's Cup Series on Tuesday and Oreo Cup Series on Wednesday from Papyrus. And it'll be just Winston Cup Series as we have their All-Star Weekend at Charlotte Motor Speedway. You do not want to miss any racing coming your way on this channel. Until then, I've been D Ebrahimian signing off. You've been watching another broadcast courtesy of the World Racing Association, the greatest racing since 2013. So long from Texas. Yeehaw, everybody.